Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In Season 2, we saw Latham Joyner dominate most of the season, but it was Chris Pierce pulling off the unthinkable in the final race to claim the championship. Top Tier Racing is back for Season 3 with a new title sponsor and a new car. The Tricia's Learning Center Gen 6 Series kicks off tonight with the Royalty Racing Network 150 from Daytona International Speedway, and it all starts right now with the Tricia's Learning Center pre-race show. Good evening, everyone. I am Joshua King, and man, I can't wait for this one to get going. Last year's champion has not returned, which means a new champion will be crowned here in Season 3. And 28 drivers will begin that race towards that title in just a matter of minutes. One driver will lock into the playoffs by time it's all said and done this evening, and there's no better way to start off the season if you could be that guy. Others could have a rough night and have an uphill battle after just one race. We will see. It's Daytona. Everyone has the expectation that they can come out here and win, but we all know anything can happen also. We're going to talk to a couple of the drivers this evening in the pre-race show here in just a moment. First, we'll get with the number 3 of Latham Joyner. As I just mentioned, finished second last season and hopes to follow up his strong performance, but ultimately this time finish it off by being crowned the champion. We're also going to speak with the winner of the Royalty Motorsports on the Brink Award, the number 59 of Jim Thorndike, who made playoffs in Season 1 and just missed it by that much in last season. So we'll hear from him and how he plans to bounce back. Take a quick look at the track info here on your screen for the top-tier Tricia's Learning Center Gen 6 Series. Of course, I mentioned it, Daytona International Speedway. 78 degrees is the temperature outside. Low winds, partly cloudy, low humidity, at least for Florida, 45%. Just under 2.5 miles for the speedway length and 105-degree track temperature, so it's going to be hot, but don't necessarily need to worry about getting loose in these cars, at least if you manage your tires well enough and maybe take one set of tires. We'll see how that goes. Drafty Beef says go Drafty Beef. He's rooting for himself. Very nice. Hopefully his paint shows up. Yes, hopefully. That would be good. And go Jacob Wilson. Let's take a look at the 51 of Jacob Wilson right there on your screen. New paint job for the 51 Mustang of Jacob Wilson. And let's take a look right now at Drafty Beef, not showing the paint there. We'll see if we can't do a little reload on our end. Maybe that'll help. We'll see, but a lot of guys out on track. We'll check back in with the 2. Still showing that one. Not sure what the issue might be there. But wanted to give Drafty a quick look at it, so maybe he'll be able to figure it out on his end early. And wouldn't you know, there he is. There's that red, white, and blue machine of Jim Thorndike in the 59. Let's go ahead and speak with him briefly. Jim, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy, sir? Jim, you got me, bud? No Jim Thorndike, it would appear, even though he's out on track. All right, we'll get back with him. Let's see if we can't get the number 3 of Latham Joyner in here. I heard him probably communicating with his team. Latham, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing good, man. Good to have you back here. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about last season. You had a phenomenal season. Ultimately fell just short of that championship. I know you're probably coming out here. You didn't forget that moment. What do you got to do this season to follow up such a strong run throughout all of last year, but then ultimately walk away the champion?
Yeah, obviously need to obviously get a little bit better luck in the final race. Obviously, I know this year we don't have a full-on playoff system. Obviously, just repeat what we did last season, run good. Obviously, try to have some fun with it like we did last year as well. I feel like once we got in that second half of the year, all the races went pretty smooth. And I'm sure they were better for you to watch as well and commentate on as well. But, some better luck, just like in that final race, and do the same thing we were doing all last season as well.
Yeah, it's such a wild structure, right? Of course, this is what the real guys in NASCAR race with, too. You can have such a strong season. I mean, you legitimately could have won every race, and then ultimately something goes wrong in the final race, and the championship is gone. So it really not only relies on that consistency, but you got to bring it week in and week out, not only to make it from one round to the next, but then obviously close it out in that championship race.
Yeah, obviously we saw that with Joey Logano this year if you watched real life. And you could say you really saw it with me if you watched every race of, last season. I convincingly probably would have wrapped it up if we went, the whole season probably with, 2 or 3 races to go, you could probably easily say. Even if we have the old chase format, I think I wrap it up with a race to go probably, if we just do like the last 6 races or something. But everybody's playing the same system, everybody's on the same playing field, just like football, the best team doesn't always win on every day. It's just, you got to be out here, you got to show up, and you got to run as good as you can.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the beauty of racing. You led me into this next question perfectly. You mentioned you got to bring it every week. The best team doesn't necessarily always win. We're at Daytona, right? Anything can happen at Daytona. What's your strategy going into this evening to get your season kicked off on the right foot?
Probably just stay alive. That's the number one rule. I'll probably be trying to lead. I'm very, very good at pushing in almost anything in this game, so I'm very good at that. I love being behind somebody rather than out front. That also gives you the option to make a move whenever you want to, obviously, rather than reacting. So that's obviously the number one go-to. Obviously, I'm a William Byron fan, so I'm very psyched with these back-to-back 500s he pulled off. And today's my birthday, so if magic is in the air for him, maybe it can be for me too.
Let's go. Happy birthday, man. That's cool.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank
did
you.
not know that. I'm glad I decided to interview you. That's pretty sweet. Everyone in chat wish Latham Joyner a happy birthday. How old today, man?
23.
Okay, 23. All right. Getting ever so close to that insurance drop.
Yeah, and then the 24, and that's the lucky number for me. Has been my whole life pretty much.
Right on, man. Well, one last question. We'll let you get back to work. You're back with Cucco Motorsports this season. You guys didn't have any changes through the off season. That has to be big, right? Explain to us kind of that chemistry that started to develop throughout last season and the performance that obviously started to show throughout the whole team there late.
Yeah, honestly, I can give him, mainly Jim. He asked for some tips, brake bias, what steering ratio to run, stuff like that. Jake, obviously, they can go back and watch my laps and try to base it off what I am doing. And they're like, hey, what are you doing off of turn 3? We talked about it at Homestead, for example, what we do into 3 sometimes and into 4 and later in the run, whether you go up or stay down, stuff like that. Mike is obviously pretty good, and Kenny's pretty good as well. And all of them are basically good in their own route, basically. Jim certainly has improved since the beginning of last season as well. I just can't stay stagnant. I got to get better right there with them so that I can keep, kind of leading with the flag. I'm out front. They're all behind me. We're all just pushing ahead.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good team dynamic to have. Excuse me. A lot of chemistry over there. You guys are going to be tough to beat this season, and look forward to seeing you guys competing everywhere we go. And we'll let you get back to it, but maybe I'll talk to you in the post-race show, sir.
Yes, sir. I hope so.
All right. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Once again, folks, that was the driver of the number 3, Latham Joyner, birthday boy tonight. Appreciate the birthday wishes to him in our chat. That was pretty cool. Didn't know that. You see his number 3 Elite Cuts machine on your screen right now. Also sponsored by Johnson Graphics and Cucco Motorsports driver. Runner-up last season out of Hopkinsville. And he's a pimp, apparently, there in that black and white Chevy. Let's check back in with Drafty Beef in the number 2. No paint for the number 2 on that thing. I promise you, folks, that's not what he's trying to run this evening. Hopefully that'll load throughout the day. We got a couple new drivers in the series. Let's see if we can't catch one of them, a couple of them here. There is the 83 out of London, Ohio, Shane Wielden in the Toyota Royalty Motorsports / Red Bull paint job there. That's pretty cool. Very creative paint on the 83 of Wielden. Let's take a look. We also got the 53 of Robbie Minor. Man, that's a nice looking paint job. Also, coincidentally, a Royalty Motorsports driver this season. Had some turnover mid-season in Season 2, and we got a full squad for the Royalty Motorsports charters this season. Of course, I'm not just showing them because they're part of the team, but because they're newcomers, so trying to get you guys familiar with them as well. There's the 4 of Jeremy Gill returning to this one in the Snap-on Tools Ford Mustang. Little wobbly. You think he's kind of just goofing around. Now, guys, we won't have a qualifying like what you're used to, and the reason why is because these guys had their duels last week. And if you're familiar with the kickoff Daytona 500 in real life, these guys did their duels to ultimately set the field last Tuesday. So we will bring you the grid as soon as we have it available, and it should be fairly quick after this practice session ends. we'll go through there, show you how they're going to line up for this evening's first race of the Tricia's Learning Center Gen 6 series right here on Royalty Racing Network. F-Bomb, welcome in, sir. Let's go, Jake Raven. Let's take a look at Mr. Raven right now. He just is pulling off the track in that black, white, and gold 37. He's always got nice paints. That's a Liquid Death Coco E Motorsports Chevy Camaro for the 37 of Raven. Good to see him back with us. One of the top candidates to always be there at the end. He made the Final Four in Season 1, and an illness kept him out of the Final Four in Season 2. It was a tough break for the 37 of Jake Raven. The 30 of Timothy Presley is coming to a stop on the Speedway in the Black Rifle Coffee Company Ford Mustang is Timothy Presley, and man, he had a pretty good second half of the season, did Presley. He's part of Jarrett Martin Racing. Him and Jarrett Martin on that team this evening. As you see, the checkered flag waves, and that means our practice session is completed. They will have a brief driver's meeting, but since they set the field last week, we have the starting grid for you right now, and we just showed the 37 Coco E Motorsports machine of Jake Raven. He'll start on pole for this first race at Daytona. Jacob Wilson in the 51 will start to his outside in second. Dylan Canova in the 70 will start third. Latham Joyner in the 3, who we just spoke to moments ago, will roll off fourth. Christian Proctor in the 13 will start fifth on the inside of row 3. Rob Higgs Jr. in the 14 will start to his outside in sixth spot. Jim Thorndike, who we were attempting to get a word with in the 59, will roll off seventh. Shane Wielden in the 83 will start eighth. Don't think that's accurate. He'll probably move to the back of the field. Nick Raffini will start ninth. Drafty Beef will roll off 10th. Kelly Akron will start 11th. Kenny Cucko in that 11 black and yellow machine will start 12th. And onward, back we go. Timothy Presley, as you see him on your screen, will start 13th in that number 30. Jeremy Gill right behind him in that number 4 will start 14th. Jorge Ledesma Jr. in the 44 will roll off 15th. Marty White in the 69 will start 16th. J.D. Van Kirk will roll off 17th. Michael Weissman, good to see him on the grid. He's in the 74 right there on your screen. Good looking paint there. He'll start 18th. Jarrett Martin in the 00 will start 19th. Dan Ames in the 55 will roll off 20th. Robert Miner will start 21st. And Zach White will start 22nd. And I was wrong. Wielden did make the duels, so he will start where I said in 7th. Let's go back up here, and we're going to go to the starter cam as we take a good long look at the front stretch here at Daytona International Speedway. And man, we're ready to kick it off here for the first race of the Tricia's Learning Center Gen 6 Series. And as the pace car approaches pit lane, he'll dive down and we'll see him hit that Geico restart zone. And Barney at the bottom of your screen will wave the green flag and get us going. This first start, we're going to listen to the sounds of these Gen 6 cars rumble around Daytona, and we're green. Lap 1 is in the books. It's so cool to hear the sounds and see the sights of these cars rumbling around Daytona International Speedway. The 70 of Dylan Canova is out to an early lead as that bottom line just didn't quite get going well enough off that start. But you see the 37 of Jake Raven leading the way on that inside lane, and they will pull even with that outside lane momentarily. Already a large split in the field, folks. Back to 12th, that's Jorge Ledesma Jr. It's very tight. Then it spreads out. Didn't see if someone maybe got loose or if something happened there, but nevertheless, we are still green. Rob Higgs Jr. did miss the start, it would appear, and he is now on the speedway, but he's going to need some cautions to try to get back into this one early, as now you see that bottom line do exactly as I mentioned. They have now gained the momentum on that top side with only 4 cars on the outside as of right now. Every point is precious. Every lap led is precious. A lot at stake here in race 1. Christian Proctor is in the 13, right behind Jake Raven in that 37. Jim Thorndike is in that 59. Nick Raffini is in the 03 there on your screen, and right behind him is the 83 of Shane Wheeldon and the 2 of Drafty Beef, teammates hooked up early there. We'll try to go through these cars, guys, throughout the night, try to update you and get you familiar with the paints that these guys are running with, at least for the start of the season. Being a new car, and we just got done with the off season, a lot of guys, maybe new sponsors, new teams potentially. So we'll keep you updated. Let's go back, see the last car in this top group is the 11 of Kenny Cucco there in that orange, red, and black Chevy Camaro. Like an orange chrome on there. That's pretty darn cool if I do say so myself. Then we go back here to Kelly Akron in the 19 mid-tier racing Toyota. That mid-group is starting to catch this top group. Again, not exactly sure what happened there early, but they got it hooked up single file there, and they'll be catching them quickly. That looks like Kelly Akron leads the way. Jeremy Gill is 14th in that white number 4. Jarrett Martin is the 3rd car there in the Black Rifle Coffee Company Ford Mustang 00 as he peeks to the inside. Now, that's not necessarily going to help them catch this front group, but they are close enough to where it's not really a concern just yet. Just about a second behind right now, maybe 2, but they got to get hooked up and catch them. Might not be the worst place to be, considering if an issue happens, they might avoid it, but you never know, right? There's the 53 of Robbie Minor. He's now pulled second in line there in that second group as we see Martin blink just slightly. That's not going to help their cause either. The 74 of Michael Weissman also in this group. Zach White in the 77. Black, purple, blue. Very cool looking paint there on the side of the 77 Ford Mustang for Zach White. Kelly Akron still in the group, as is Jeremy Gill. We took a look at him. J.D. Van Kirk in an almost all chrome race car to start this season. Man, that is a really nice looking car there. We'll take a brief look at it. Woo! Slick looking paint for the 22. There's Marty White. He's got some chrome and black on that thing too. That's another mid-tier racing machine. There's Dan Ames. He's picking up the rear right now, almost, but hoping for a caution, I'm assuming. And there's Rob Higgs Jr. in his traditional purple and pink paint job. Not sure what happened to Rob Higgs Jr. We're back up front, though. Jorge Ledesma Jr. has taken the lead And he leads that bottom line. The 59 of Jim Thorndike going to bounce to the outside and take it right back over and now get back in the front of the 44. That leaves the 30 of Timothy Presley leading that outside lane. And man, have we seen leaps and bounds of growth and performance from that 30 machine of Presley over the last season or so. Doing very well. This is a larger group now, but like I said, with these guys in this second pack, not only with Martin blinking, but those guys going double file, they got to go single file to catch them guys up here in front. Bit of a top lane forming as now we see Kenny Cucko blinking out. That's nothing new. Sarah Hodges says number 51. 51 right here, Jacob Wilson in that turquoise and black machine. He's up there with the front group doing well right now, folks. On the left side of your screen on the timing tower, you'll see it will constantly show you the top 10 as they bounce back and forth. Oh, as we got a caution. Caution on the speedway. That's exactly what Dan Ames and Rob Higgs Jr. were looking for. See if we can't see. Uh-oh. That's not good. Nothing showed up as a wreck on my screen. Oh, there it is. Jacob Wilson and Shane Wielden. Let's bring you the replay right here. See what happened to the 51 in the... Oh, just a bad bump. Oh, and then it just compounds into Latham Joyner involved on the outside, and 83 might be okay. 51 might be okay. That's not going to be good for Joyner. Let's take one more look at that. See if we can't see exactly what happened here. The 13, oh, just a little out of whack. Oh, and then that just causes a stack up behind him. And the 13, we're going to see if he's going to be okay. That's Christian Proctor. It looks like he will ultimately be okay. Tough break there for 51. Not a good shot there as he's in pits. Let's go back here. 51. Okay, still on the speedway, actually. That's good. There's your leader at the time of the yellow flag, folks. That's the 30 of Timothy Presley. Jacob Wilson looks okay. The 3 of Latham Joyner does not look okay. He's missing the front end on that machine. Not a very good birthday gift for the 3 of Joyner. Dan Ames and Rob Higgs Jr. were not involved, but they're going to catch the rest of the field now. 83. Let's see if we can't catch the 83. Okay, still on the speedway. Doesn't look like he has a whole lot of damage, but a lot of people into pit ears will go up to the front of the field. There's a good shot of it, folks. Looking right down pit lane as all these guys come into pit already. We're on lap 12 of 60. Some guys even taking tires already. Interesting move. Some guys probably just pitting for damage repairs. Others just a fuel stop. That's going to mix up the field just a bit, as now the 2 of Drafty Beef will be scored your leader after pit stops. Drafty Beef, Robbie Miner, Zach White all electing not to pit. Christian Proctor, your first guy to pit there, so he will still lead the field off pit road. And you know what? It looks like everybody down pit road took tires. Wow. Interesting move there, folks. I want to hear from you guys in the chat, whether you're experienced or not. Lap 12, working lap 12, under caution, of course. Would you guys take tires here? Or would you elect to just take fuel? I want to hear it from you. Like I said, regardless if you race, if you know racing, if you watch the 500 this weekend, obviously nearly a quarter of the distance is this race than the 500. But there we take a look on your screen at the number 2 at Drafty Beef leading the way, followed by Robbie Miner in the 53. Zach White in the 77. Possibly a strategy there to get some team members together, as well as track position for the 53 and the 77. Now some guys back in: Dylan Canova, Nick Raffini, Jorge Ledesma Jr., and Jacob Wilson. Shane Wheeldon off pit road, rejoined the field. Good to see. Unfortunately, not good to see is the 3 of Latham Joyner. He, unfortunately, I think will be done for the evening on his birthday. So that's tricky. F-Bomb in chat says, I would not. I would only go fuel and get it later in the run. I would agree. I'm with you, sir. Now, we don't know an exact window here of how many laps for fuel in these things, but I'm with F-Bomb in the sense that I don't think this is going to be your last caution, yellow flag opportunity to pit for fuel. So, but maybe they top off. Never know how the race plays out. Daytona is one of those tracks where if something happens to the infield, all of a sudden you could be looking at a no caution situation, especially if it's one car. Who knows? But we're just going to have to see how it's going to play out. Caution lights on the iRacing.com pace car are turned off, which means we're going to go back to green this time around. Once again, we'll join him at the starter cam as you see him come through turn 3 and into turn 4 way off in the distance at this big 2.5 mile speedway. iRacing.com pace car does indeed pull down pit road. Drafty Beef will get to the Geico restart zone, and he fires, and the green flag is back out here at Daytona as the number 2 of Drafty Beef leads the way with the 53, a minor to his outside, and the 77 behind him. See if they try to get the 53 tucked in line here. And he elects not to go. Looks like he had a small opportunity there, but nevertheless, he'll lead that outside lane. Much better here on this start, it would appear, is they're a lot more bunched up. That's what those guys on the tail end of the field want to see. Single file back to Robbie Miner in that 53. But he'll have some help out there on that second lane as the 59 of Jim Thorndike flirts with it and thinks otherwise. Rob Higgs Jr. back in it, baby. He's up there with the lead pack now, and I guarantee you he was excited to see that caution come out, as he was probably a few laps away or less from going a lap down. And look at that field, folks. All single file, just 3 cars electing to go on that outside lane. Nobody goes with the 11 of Cucco. The 30 of Presley pulls up to the backside of the 53 and tries to give him some help. Now the 11 has a big run. He'll get some help from behind him. That's going to be the 74 of Michael Weissman that elects to go with his teammate, Cucco Motorsports boys. Now the 53 looks like dropping back even more so. They were 3 wide just for a brief moment there. Not sure if something's wrong with that 53, folks. We'll have to keep an eye on it. He seems off the pace just a bit, even though he is getting pushed now by those Cucco Motorsports boys. Now Jim Thorndike elects to join him. That's 3 out of 4 Coco Motorsports drivers, with the 53 mixed in a Coco sandwich there. Now that outside lane is cooking. The 00 leads the way. That's Jarrett Martin. He's going to have a big run on the front stretch with a lot of help behind him. See if those Black Rifle Coffee Company boys drop down, and they do right on cue. Looks to be like nothing wrong with the 53, as now he's right there in the mix as Coco Motorsports will lead the outside lane. Man, what a great shot down the backstretch. You can see them all strung out. 00 just inching slightly ahead, and we're already starting to see here, not even a third of the way as Martin blinks again. Have to get off of him camera-wise. We're already starting to see a bunch of teammates hooked up, man, and this is really cool. Look out! And the 00's around. We stay green. That's exactly what I was saying. That's a one-car incident, and he's into the inside. Tough break, and I mean, we saw it live. We're not going to be able to go back and look at it just yet. Actually, we got some time. We got plenty of time. Let's go back and see what happened to the 00 Martin. I think the 74 Weissman thought he was clear. Then the 00 came up just a little bit, maybe thinking he was clear. And the 00 went around a few times. Luckily for him, didn't hit anything. Now he'll need a caution like Rob Higgs Jr. did as we go back to live racing now. Jim Thorndike continues to lead the way. Presley in the 30 is elected to jump out to the outside now. Robbie Minor has gotten into the 2 spot. Is now the 74. Weissman will go out there and pick up his teammate who's right behind that number 30 in the orange, black, and red 11. A lot of moving here, and what is Weissman doing there? That's some interesting driving. There's the 74. Michael Weissman takes the lead. Presley, they get out just a little bit on the field. Some guys coming from the back here. Looks like the 03, that's going to be Nick Raffini with the 51 of Wilson and the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. trying to get some momentum going. We'll keep an eye on that, see if they can't get up through the field. Just not enough help right now. I think they'd be a little bit better off maybe getting with that 19, or not quite sure. There we go. Now someone pulls out a little bit further in front of them. That's going to be the 69 of Marty White there with that chrome and black Ford Mustang. SM Racing Products, Mintier Racing on that machine. Still a lot of single file, but Marty White might have made the move of the race right here. If he can catch the 13 of Christian Proctor on the outside, he could go to the front in a hurry, as he will. As Jim Thorndike continues to lead that outside lane, but they're going to need a little bit more help. All four front cars single file as of right now. The 77 of Zach White and Jim Thorndike, first row to be double file right now, as the 77 of Zach White fell back just a little bit. Looked like he got loose there. But the 4 of Jeremy Gill picks him up, and he'll get pushed right back into line, right behind that 2-car, yellow and white Chevy Camaro. Michael Weissman continues to lead. Got a good pushing buddy in the 30 of Presley. They're hooked up. And now that outside lane completely diminishes now as it's all single files. We take a decent look at them from behind. Let's go here to the blimp cam for a moment. Maybe this one. Maybe not. Well, disregard that one. Sometimes the camera shots work out, sometimes they don't. That's our best look at that long single file line. As now look at the 74. He jumped outside. I don't know why. Maybe he got a point for leading the lap and decided, all right, that's enough. I don't want to be up here leading the way. So that gives the lead to the 30 of Timothy Presley. He's up 12 spots right now. Your two biggest movers due to the non-pit strategy, we will say, is the 53 of Robbie Minor right behind the 30 and the 77 is Zach White. Once again, those guys both elected not to pit at the caution. So up significantly. Right now, unfortunately, Latham Joyner still in pit road. Rough night for the 3-car of Joyner. Now they get close to Jarrett Martin, and he's going to go a lap down. But, folks, Martin in the 00 is not out of this race by any means. This only puts him one lap down. Anything could happen. If a caution happens and he's the only car one lap down, he'd be right back in it as we see him hit the wall there. That would have been bad halfway through the field. But anyway, Martin's got to keep up the hard work here and stay out there and hold on to hope, because you never know when your luck could change. Let's take a look now at the 14 of Rob Higgs Jr., who sitting 12th right now, and his night might have been over if it stayed green a little longer. Put him a couple laps down, but got lucky, and he's right there battling. No, and he goes in outside the same time as the 69 of Marty White. Marty White up the racetrack in trouble for drivers near the back. That's going to bring out the caution, and man, did I just say it. Let's check on Jarrett Martin. He was clean. He's going to get his lap back right after he lost it. Woo, man. For you Jarrett Martin fans at home, raise the cup up and clap your hands because your boy just caught a break. Let's go back and look at it. We saw it live once again. We saw Marty White. Now, let's rewind it just a little bit from there. We saw Marty White. Looks like he wanted to go outside. No, that's not going to do it here. Come on. Well, very slow motion, but we're going to get there eventually anyway. So you see the 14 of Rob Higgs Jr., we were talking about him when this all happened. He went outside, and at the same time, Marty White bounced outside as well. Just nothing they could do here. That should be fine. Be here all night. Play it now, and they both just went outside, and 69 tried to save it, came right up in front of, man, that's a hard number to see, isn't it? Kelly Akron involved, unfortunately, in that 19. Who is that? Dan Ames. That's Dan Ames in that 55. Unfortunately, Jorge Ledesma Jr. looks like he was caught up just slightly. We'll see who comes down pit road as we go back live. And looks like your whole field coming down pit road. Marty White is in already. Jarrett Martin, he's staying out to get his lap back as the lucky dog. He'll pit next time by if he wants. And let's go to that pit cam. Doesn't quite show. Man, I wanted to see if, no, that's not going to do it. Man. Well, anyway, there's the race off pit lane, and the 37 of Jake Raven beat the whole field out with that first starting spot, or first pit box. As we see the rest of the folks make their way off pit road. Looks like Dan Ames in the 55, as you see him there coming across your screen. He's good to go. And looks like Akron extended pit stop there for damage. You see him still in the pit box. Let's go back up front. There's the 37 of Jake Raven. We're going to rack them and stack them one more time here. We're just under halfway here, folks. We're going to go picture in picture and hear a word from some of our sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. They are starting to line them up 2 by 2 just a little bit. And the lights do go off on that iRacing.com pace car, which means it is 1 to green. Jarrett Martin cruising around this field to join the pack now. He'll restart 19th after he just had went a lap down. And you know what? He's lucky there, too, not just because of the caution, but if he was involved in that, obviously the damage is one thing, but even if it's very little damage, he wouldn't have got the lucky dog. So he's very lucky he avoided that incident. Your top 10 looks like this. Jake Raven will lead him back to green. The 30 of Timothy Presley will be second. Zach White in the 77 will roll back off third. Drafty White to his outside in fourth. Jeremy Gill in fifth. Kenny Cucco in sixth spot. Christian Proctor in the 13 will start seventh. Jim Thorndike will restart eighth. Michael Weissman in the 74 will restart ninth. And Shane Wilden in the 83 will restart 10th, I believe. Weissman having some fun. Taking the bus stop that's a part of the Daytona road course here at the Speedway. 37 of Jake Raven right back where he started now. Started on pole and right back to the one spot as we will reach halfway this next time around with 30 complete. Go back up here and we'll see Jake Raven get to the restart zone.
Green flag.
And the green flag is out as Barney's just a slight bit behind on the wave. We are officially halfway done as the 30 of Timothy Presley dropped down in front of the 37. Now working lap 31. Halfway done, halfway to go. The 2 of Drafty Beef is on the outside trying to get maybe a little help there from Kenny Kuko in the 11 is an outside lane now begins to form, and we'll see the two shoot up like a rocket here momentarily. Latham Joyner not giving up tonight. He's rejoined the race. Good to see him back out there. Now Jake Raven to the outside. He'll jump in front of the two. That'll be much needed help for those guys outside. They'll have a ton of momentum now. Now Drafty Beef electing to go to the bottom here to lead that bottom line. Latham Joyner does not factor in as of right now, 15 laps down, but could provide to be a big drafting partner for those Kuko Motorsports boys, as he's right behind two of them right now. See who is scored the leader of this lap. Looks like it's going to be Drafty Beef by about half a car length. He's got the 30 of Presley right behind him. Presley's been a great pusher so far. He's also, the 77 is loose. Oh, no. Trouble behind, oh my goodness, and the 11 is up on his side.
Here, Tom, to make sure everything looks okay.
As no caution. No, caution is out just now. Okay. Took a minute on my screen to show. Let's go back and see if this is going to be the majority of it here. That's not enough. Let's go back here. That's the speed I want. So we'll go back and we'll go back to the 77 of Zach White. Go back just a little bit further. Let's see if he gets a push from the 4, maybe a little off center. Or if he does it all by himself. Go to the chase cam here. Yes, he does get a push in the corner from the 4 of Gill. He gets down below that apron. The 11 is there right now, folks. He's just blinked. Comes up now and gets into the 4, and now the 4 into the 11. This is where we want to go to Kuko. He rides that wall up on his side. Oh my gosh, and someone coming up underneath him. That's the 22 of Van Kirk. Drove right under the 11, and now the 11, all sorts of damage there. Man, oh man. Not going Kuko eMotorsports way as of right now. As we're back to live action here. That was a wild ride for the 11, I'm sure. Just couldn't get up off that wall, and the more he hung up there, the more damage he got. Drafty Beef leads them back down pit road once again. This is the third time. Trying now, I'd assume, just to get out there and top off, try to make it to the end, and Drafty Beef will lead him off pit road. The 83 of Wheeldon. Good pit stop for Wheeldon. A lot of guys deciding not to pit. Christian Proctor in the 13. He'll assume the race lead now by not pitting. The 4 of Jeremy Gill stayed out. And the 14 of Rob Higgs Jr. now being scored in 3rd. J.D. Van Kirk in 4th. Jorge Ledesma Jr. worked his way back up to the front now after being in the back after the first pit stop. And Jacob Wilson, Dylan Canova. Haven't said much about Canova just yet. That's a good thing. Hasn't been in any incidents. Kenny Kuko down pit road. Probably a lot of damage on the 11 machine. And the 3 of Latham Joyner back down there as well. Now, these top 8, with this guy being the tail end, excuse me, pitted last on lap 28. So all these guys behind them rejoining the field now on lap 34 they pit. So we'll see if that comes into play. Not going to come into play tire-wise, but it certainly could have an impact on the fuel strategy. But the 13 and Christian Proctor will get himself a lap lead here and get ready to go back to green once more. 25 laps to go here. Will be 24 to go when we go back green. Yes, Kenny Cucko, that was not good, sir. I know you're going to take a good look at that replay. It appeared to us that the Ford just kind of bumped the right back corner of the 77, and 77 got below that apron. And once you go below the apron on the corner, you know as well as I do, not a whole lot you can do, unfortunately. Ah, 16 minutes. Well, I'll tell you a brief story while you're there waiting, while we're waiting to go back green. Ran the Daytona 500, the NIS Daytona 500 Thursday night with our friend Drafty Beef. Of course, he got the win. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the race here. But I made it 43 laps and got turned into the wall. Didn't ride the wall like you just did, but hard into the wall. And too much damage to continue. I was done. I didn't have any option to fix it and get back out there. So I know all too well how you are feeling right now. Christian Proctor leads the way, and he fires as soon. Oh no, it's the 53 in the back. Off track. That's not good for Minor. What happened there? He's just going to pull it down pit road? What the heck? Why would he? That's interesting. I don't know why he wouldn't have just got back out on the track. That's very strange, as now we see another caution. Zach White. That's not too much there. Can't see. Let's see. Oh, he was involved as well. See what happened to the 77 of Zach White. All right, so it's all good right here. Just a big stack up. What the heck happened to White? I'm really confused about that one. Huh. All right. Not sure. 2 Royalty Motorsports drivers involved in that one. I'm puzzled, to be honest. But while they're working the caution once again, let's get a word with the number 2 of Drafty Beef. We got to shout him out here. He raced in the NIS Daytona 500 Thursday night with me, and he put himself in a good position, hung tough all night long, and ended up getting the win. So let's get with him real quick while they work the caution here. Drafty, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
I sure do. How's it going, Josh?
Doing well, sir. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to bring you in and have a chance to discuss your big victory. First and foremost, congratulations on the NIS Daytona 500 victory Thursday night. Tell us how it felt, man.
Oh, it felt great. I went into that race not expecting to win, that's for sure. I just wanted to place good, and it was honestly, I got lucky with the perfect race and ended up bringing home the victory.
Heck yeah, man. It was really fun to watch. I was able to witness it. Really, really cool. Tell us a little bit now about the confidence that kind of helps you bring into a race less than a week later for now league racing and looking to get off on the right foot here tonight.
I tell you, it was a huge confidence boost. We were able to put the car up front a couple times already tonight. But I'd like to be a little bit further up than where I am now, but I'm about right where I want to be. Coming to, getting to be about 20. It'll be about 20 to go once we go back green here. And, hoping to make the strike late at the end and get another victory here at Daytona, but this time in the league.
Heck yeah, man. That'd be a good way to start off the season for sure, for you, for your team. Now, I wanted to ask real quick about that last caution. I know you're in the team chat with a couple of those guys. Any insight on what might happen there? Might have happened there?
I heard something about a checkup, and one of the guys got rammed from behind, but that's all I've heard.
Interesting. All right. Well, we were trying to diagnose what could have happened there, too, and saw the 53 down in the infield, and then all of a sudden just pulled it into pit road. But nevertheless, we'll get back at it. We'll let you get back to work, sir, and we'll talk to you later. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, man. Once again, folks, that was the number 2 of Drafty Beef, who got a big win in the NIS iRacing Daytona 500 on Thursday night. Man, it was special to witness. But back up here at the front, and that's still Christian Proctor in the 13. They're stacking them and racking them back up once again. Kelly Akron still on pit road, and as is Kenny Cucko. He said he had 16 minutes required repair. You guys all saw it right here in the chat. Tough break for Kenny Cucko, tough break for Latham Joyner in the 3 car as well. Not the way Cucko eMotorsports wanted to start their evening or their race, but the good news is they still have the 37 of Jake Raven and the 59 of Jim Thorndike, Michael Weissman up there as well. So still opportunities for that team ultimately to kick their team season off in the right direction. Christian Proctor will lead the way once again. Jeremy Gill in the 4 car will find himself leading the first line there on the outside for the first time this evening. As they sit 1 and 2 here, as we'll have 20 to go when we bring them back around. Hello, Caden. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, sir. Good to see you. Working our 4th caution of the evening, getting ready to go back green here with 20 to go. We'll go back up to our starter cam, take a look at Barney. Flicks out that green flag, and Christian Proctor will hit that blue restart zone.
Green flag.
And away they go, back at it with 20 left to go in this one. The Royalty Racing Network 150 from Daytona. Really nice restart there for the 4 of Jeremy Gill on the outside lane. He's got the 22 of J.D. Van Kirk right behind him. Those are teammates, folks. Rob Higgs Jr. on the inside with Christian Proctor. Also a teammate, the 51 of Wilson is running fourth right now. He's in that turquoise and black machine. The 03 and Nick Raffini on the inside. And of course, we've seen Presley a lot tonight. Dylan Canova is up there as well, running 8th currently in that purple and black Ford Mustang. Michael Weissman to his outside, and Jorge Ledesma Jr. currently sits 10th there with the 83 of Shane Wielden to his outside. Drafty Beef, who we just spoke to, is running behind them, and then you got Latham Joyner mixed in there, just trying to help his teammates. Now that inside lane, man, they're tucking really close to that bottom side. 19 to go. Glad you stopped in, Caden. Hopefully some good racing here, as the 14 of Rob Higgs Jr. and the 13 have jumped out to a pretty good lead now. The 4 of Gill trying not to leave his teammate. He might want to, though. Him and the 22 could go low if they really wanted, as now they do right on cue. That once again is going to leave Timothy Presley leading that outside lane as they're single file all the way top 5 back nearly. But that outside lane has some momentum. Here comes the 30 of Presley on the outside. The 4 and the 22, they got a good run, and now they pull up in front of the 30 to reel back in the 14 and the 13 of Proctor. That inside lane is very organized. They've been able to keep that 13 out front for a while. Nobody behind Joyner, as now the 83 begins to catch him and he pulls out to the outside. That might be a good move. They go 3 wide. Michael Weissman way up to the top, on top of the 30 of Presley. As now even Joyner looks like doesn't necessarily want to follow him, not quite sure. The 83 of Wielden, questionable. He's outside, then he said, okay, we're going to go back inside maybe. I'd have to go with Wielden there, probably the best move, as now we see Joyner all the way to the tail end of the field. Even Weissman dropped back in. He got 1 spot out of that 3 wide endeavor. This is your whole front pack, folks. Jacob Wilson now looking to get a good run on that inside, as the 4 and the 22 still staying strong on that outside lane. 51 doesn't look like he can pull up to the 14. Maybe now. Car length in between them. And that's a scary situation, because if someone decides, hey, I'm clear, and they want to jump down, they might just not be quite clear enough. Now the 51 of Wilson does close that gap just a little bit more, as the 00 up top blinks just a little bit. Now that outside lane, Presley took advantage. Jeremy Gill cleared and he dropped in front with the 74. So someone else finally leads a lap, as the 13 and 14 there were looking awfully strong. The 4 and the 74 go back up top. It's going to allow a good run for the 13 to get back beside them. They're all bunched up double file now. Jake Raven is back in the mix. The 2 of Drafty Beef just looking for anywhere to possibly squeak in on that bottom line, it would appear, but he stays up top for now. Jake Raven right behind him. They could go to the front. That 51 of Wilson, just something doesn't seem quite right. There's always a gap, a car gap, it looks like, or so, in between him and the next guy in front of him. That's just a safety precaution, but he's definitely going the wrong direction as of right now. Before you know it, he might be tail end on that lead lap or that lead pack, and you have a little incident there, and you're going to lose the draft. Now Drafty Beef found his way to the bottom side. He's more comfortable there, I know that for sure. Christian Proctor back to the lead. 12 to go this time by, starting to get in the pressure cooker here. Not quite sure if they're done wrecking just yet. Kenny Kucko in his 11 Kucko eMotorsports machine still on pit road from an earlier incident. Latham Joyner is out there. The 4 of Jeremy Gill now with a good run on the outside. 74 of Michael Weissman pushing him. See if Gill does what he did last time and drop down. He's got a really nice run now as he'll lead that lap. 11 to go, and now Weissman drops down to the inside to lead that bottom line. Man, he had a major run there. Picked the perfect time to drop down. More people now electing to go to that outside. Now Weissman trying to lead both lanes. Going up to block the 4, dropping back down in front of the 13. He wants to control this race right now, folks. Going to be 10 to go this time by. '74 Weissman doing a masterful job of leading this race right now. Of course, he's not going to be able to jump up in front of the 4 right this second. Oh, he touches the apron, hold it together. They're coming up on a lapped car, which is Kelly Akron, I do believe. It is indeed. Kelly Akron staying high for him. Oh, look out. Got a little scary there for half a second. And everyone makes it by the 19 of Akron. Back up front. Good to see that. Still clean and green here as we go. Oh, look out. 4 was wobbly from a push from the 22. Good driving from Jeremy Gill up front. He just might have led that lap. I'm not quite sure. All stacked now as it becomes closer and closer every lap to that checkered flag. You can tell these guys are starting to push just a little bit harder. 22 of J.D. Van Kirk pushing the heck out of the 4. He was right on his back bumper. Christian Proctor doing the same for Michael Weissman on the bottom side. Right now, any of this front 14, it's anyone's race to win. 14th is Jorge Ledesma Jr. Zach White, Marty White, Dan Ames still on the lead lap, but off the pace. They would love to see a caution and make it interesting for their hopes. Going to be 7 laps to go this time, as now they're very close to each other. They all keep it clean. It's getting a little bit more aggressive every lap. Oh, and the 13. The 13. Oh, no. Massive carnage here.
Caution,
in the back. Oh, man, it looked like the 13 of Proctor. Let's go back and see exactly who wrecked. I don't know. Okay, so multiple incidents going on at the same time here, folks, as the 13 got pushed into the infield on the apron. You see him there at the bottom of your screen. Pushed there. We'll restart it right here. Play out. Here's the 13. Bad bump from the 14. The 13 just tried to come back down. So he goes into the infield. Meanwhile, the 00 of Jarrett Martin now due to that incident. The 14 was loose. That's Rob Higgs Jr. 14 goes down on the apron. Comes back up into Latham Joyner. Man, rough night for Joyner. And now the 13 couldn't save it, and the 00, who coincidentally started all the bumps, almost avoided it. I'm sure he probably thought he was clean. Now the 37 of Jake Raven involved. The 00 still bouncing around. Holy moly. Woo! So that, folks, as we get back live here, that's going to make it interesting as we take a look at the 13 of Proctor on pit road. The 3 of Joyner's back down. No one else down pit road now. And I just said it. Zach White, Marty White, and Dan Ames probably very thankful to see that caution come out. I think your lucky dog will potentially be Robbie Minor in the 53. We'll have to see if he takes a pass here. Nevertheless, Jeremy Gill leading the way with 5 to go as of right now. By the time we get back going, this might be a natural green-white checkered. Well, we're going to go picture-in-picture for a quick commercial break from one of our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. The amazing finish still to come. Welcome back, folks, and they're just now beginning to stack 2x2, as you saw briefly there in the picture-in-picture commercial break. This is going to make for an exciting finish. Rob Higgs Jr. down pit road, Jarrett Martin still down pit road, Christian Proctor back down. It would appear Robbie Minor did not get the free pass. Unsure why. We got Jeremy Gill on the inside. He'll lead us back to green for what could be this final restart. If we get to the white flag waves, the race will be official. No matter what happens after that, there won't be a caution, folks. So hopefully we get to that point. Michael Weissman will restart on the outside of row 1. J.D. Van Kirk in the 22 will start third. Timothy Presley will start fourth. Shane Wielden will restart fifth. And Drafty Beef will restart sixth. That's your top 3 rows. Your top 6 all up positions on the evening. Michael Weissman, your biggest mover right now, up 16 spots. 7 through 10 all down positions on the evening as of right now.
Green flag.
And we're back green. Oh no, and it's a huge issue up front. Oh my goodness. That wasn't good. Jim Thorndike, yes. Maybe some wheel spin and a bad bump. I don't know. Sent the 4 around. Some questionable moves here is the 77 of Zach White. Not sure what was going on there. Nick Raffini also involved. But nevertheless, not sure if White didn't see what was going on or what happened there. But not exactly how we wanted the restart to go. So we'll step away one more time for another picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll get them back going for what will for sure be a green-white checkered this time. Hopefully it'll go more smooth than that one. We'll be right back, folks. All right, welcome back, folks. Michael Weissman in that purple, white, and black 74 will lead us back to green for hopefully the final time. Hopefully I didn't jinx it again. Only people down pit road are those with damage this time around. Jarrett Martin in the 00. Rob Higgs Jr. still down pit road. Christian Proctor down there. Tough to see that. He had such a great night. And Latham Joyner looks like has now officially called it a night, it would appear. Robbie Minor back to just one lap down. And Jarrett Martin 1 lap down as well, so they will be racing for a potential lucky dog spot. Shall this caution come out once again? I believe maybe there's 2 green-white checkers. I should have confirmed that, especially knowing that we are at Daytona. But nevertheless, getting ready to go green again. Here we go. Lights go out on the pace car, and they'll go double file once again. Weissman, Van Kirk, Presley, Wheeldon, and Beef for your top 5 on this restart. Jeremy Gill is still on the lead lap. He was your leader this last time. He's now being scored 15th. See what kind of moves he can make here late. Rebound from that late incident. Down the backstretch they go. It's the calm before the storm, folks. Now Christian Proctor, you see on the right side of your screen, rejoining the field. Couple blinkers back there. This will be a green-white checkered, folks, and if you don't know what that means, if you're new to racing, that's racing's version of overtime. We're going to take the green flag here when they cross the line. They'll go around. The next time they cross the line is the white flag, and the third time they cross the line is the checkered flag. So green, white, checkered. And that iRacing.com pace car will pull down pit road, and Michael Weissman will hit that Geico restart zone one more time as he fires, and they're all clean this time. Oh, look out, Drafty. They kept it going, but he spun the tires. That's not going to be good for that second pack there. The top 4 break off. It's Weissman, Van Kirk, Presley, and the 83 of Wheeldon. Van Kirk has no help on the outside. He lost everybody. Now Beef, fortunate to be getting back in the group. That's one good thing. They didn't get away from him that much. The 74 of Weissman will lead the way. The Royalty Motorsports boys go to the outside. That's Wheeldon and Beef. This will be your white flag. The race is official. 1 lap to go. Wheeldon has the lead for now. Almost lost it there. The 74 of Weissman is on the inside. Oh no, look out! Oh no! That's gonna leave just Canova and the 30 of Presley, and nobody's gonna have a chance. The 30 of Presley's gonna give it a run. He'll dip to the inside. Is he gonna get him? Timothy Presley at the line. Being scored. Who? It's being scored Canova. Let's go back here and watch that finish. Wendy, I think almost the whole field was caught up in that. I don't know, man. That's really, really close, and we can't get any better view, I don't think. There's not a... Let's see if we can't just go through here. No. Maybe this one. Quarter speed. Hard to tell. Canova, Presley get out of the shot there. Let's go back maybe a little bit more. Not the gyro cam. That's not going to do it here. Scenic. That might be a decent look at it. See if we can pause it as they cross the line here. Right there, just barely for the 70 of Dylan Canova. Yes, Caden, we have a camera pack here, and there's just not one for the photo finish, but nevertheless. It's like nobody on track. We're going to step away for a brief moment. We'll have interviews with your top 3 folks, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, let's get back with our top 3 here. Get some interviews going. First guy we're going to talk to is the 69 of Marty White. Let's find him. Where the heck is he? There he is. Where he's supposed to be. Imagine that. All right. Marty, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do got you.
Marty, congratulations on a 3rd place finish tonight. Kind of an up and down evening. You were involved in an incident early. Managed to rally, hang in there. You finished up 13 spots, man. Talk to us about what the strategy was tonight and exactly what the plan was to hopefully get your season off on the right foot.
Well, from the start, Jeremy just kept saying, just hang in the back, keep staying in the back until evidently, the wrecks that are going to happen. And I got, like you said, in those few ones, and I was kind of down, and I was ready to quit, and I was like, you know what, let me hang in here for a minute, and here I am.
Right on, man. Well, that's a great way to start the season for sure. Much needed for the 69 and for that team over there for sure, of course. Talk to us kind of about what your plan is. A little bit of a rough season for some of those mid-pack teams last year, right? Talk to us about what the plan is for mid-tier racing this season to really compete.
Just a lot of team practices and just stay out of the way of the wrecks.
That's about all you can do, man. The team practice will do a lot of good, so that's awesome. We'll let you go enjoy this one, sir, but before we do, anybody you'd like to thank or shout out tonight?
I would just want to thank, my team. They were pretty surprised about the P3. They were pretty surprised. I got P2 in the IMSA race just before this that Kenny puts on, so I was pretty hyped about getting podium twice in a row in one night.
Heck yeah, man. That's a really good night for sure. Follow it up with a third place finish in the one that matters, right?
Exactly.
Right on, dude. Well, congrats. Well ran tonight, and way to hang in there. We'll see you out here next week.
All righty, thank you.
You're welcome. Once again, folks, that was the 69 of Marty White, your third place finisher on the evening. Next, we're going to talk to the 30 of Timothy Presley. Timothy, you got a copy of this? Joshua up in the booth.
I got you.
Right on, man. Well, extremely exciting finish. Did you think you had Canova there?
Thought I did. Whenever that big wreck happened on the backstretch, I don't even know how I got through that for starters. But once I got through, I saw it was just me and him, nothing but open track behind us. And I had about 2 car lengths back on him, so I knew I was going to have a good run coming out of 4. So went high, cut back low, and he did a great job playing defense. And I really don't know if there was anything else that I could do. But this one kind of hurts. This one's going to haunt me for a while.
Hey, man, I mean, you still finished second place. It was a great run. You ran up front nearly all night. You started in 14th, I believe, 13th rather. Got up to the front fairly early, avoided the trouble. Then you just stayed there all night long. So even though you didn't win, I know that you wanted to win. You made a great move for the attempt to get that victory tonight. Still a really, really nice start to the season for you and for your team. Kind of tell us what this means now for you, what kind of confidence it builds going into race 2 next week.
Honestly, for me, there's not really any confidence boost. I mean, for me, it's just, this is what I do. Just going to next week, fresh start, and this is just going to make me want it more.
That's fair, man. That's good. Put some work in, get ready for next week. That's all you can do. I mean, like I say, enjoy that second place finish, man. There's nothing to be ashamed of about that on a 22-car field, especially race 1. Amazing way to start the season for sure. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, once again, just a huge thanks to all the guys at Black Rifle Coffee, MKM Racing Development, Zach Postma up in Michigan, running Postma Flooring. All of those guys, just huge shout out to them making this all possible. Huge thanks to my teammate Jarrett, because without him, I wouldn't have been able to do this either. Me and him were working together most of the night. Just overall, can't thank all the guys enough.
Right on, man. Yeah, he was having a heck of a run too till caught up in late trouble, unfortunately. But, hey, you hung up there and you got it done. So good luck next week. We'll see you back out here. Keep chasing that win, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Once again, folks, that was the driver of the number 30. He finished second tonight. That was Timothy Presley. They're joining us, and now we're going to get our winner up here, and that's the 70 of Dylan Canova. Dylan, you're no stranger to being interviewed, whether it be for wins or podiums or whatever. We didn't say a whole lot about you this evening up until that final lap, and you came out of nowhere and avoided the chaos to get that win. How's it feel to start the season with a win?
Oh, feels good. Especially coming off the little off-season races we had. We went 2 for 2 in those, and we won the duel last week. Then to come out and started off with a win. That's 4 in a row for races towards the league. So hopefully we'll carry this momentum on to the season. I know the season didn't finish off the way we wanted it to for season 2, so hopefully we'll have a little bit better run through season 3 and start it off right.
This is definitely a really good start to the campaign for sure. You're already locked into playoffs now, assuming you make enough races, which I'm sure you will. But what kind of – we say this every single season opener. It's nice to lock in first. But tell us about the challenges of now you can not necessarily relax, but kind of enjoy the season more and put yourself in a better spot. But at the same time, you still have to compete every week and making sure you're setting yourself up for playoffs. How can that be challenging?
I think this season be a little bit different because there's no stages. I don't believe there's any playoff points. So now we can just kind of experiment with the car, practice what works well, what doesn't work at different places, kind of learn the car and not so much focus. If you have a bad race here or there, it's okay. Obviously, I think there's still some perks to winning a regular season points championship, but obviously being in is big with the new format. So we'll see how that goes, but a little bit of practice here and there and kind of learn a little bit about the car and how it does.
Right on, man. Well, before we let you go pop the champagne in Victory Lane, anybody you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
The admins putting it on, you for broadcasting, everybody over at Revved Up Racing. We made the swap to Ford this year, so it looked like it might have been a worthwhile swap. Circle W Farms, Forced by Dennis, Victory Fuel, the No Names, everybody that makes Revved Up Racing possible, and everybody for being here.
Right on, man. Well, good to talk to you. Congrats on the win. First one of the season and the first race of the season, so go enjoy this one. We'll see you back out here next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Once again, folks, that was your winner, the 70 of Dylan Canova. Well, it was a wild one for sure. 5 cautions all told by the end. A lot of different leaders. A lot of people were up at the front. We'll run down the results here for you briefly. Of course, Canova gets the win. Timothy Presley, we just spoke to him. He brought home second. Marty White in third. Dan Ames all the way back to finish fourth. Really, really nice to see him have a good start to the season. The 59 of Jim Thorndike rounds out your top 5. Jake Raven in the 37 finishes 6th. Nick Raffini finished 7th. Jorge Ledesma Jr. brought home 8th. Good start for him to the season. Shane Wheeldon finished 9th. Jeremy Gill brought home a top 10. Jacob Wilson finished 11th. Zach White brought home 12th. J.D. Van Kirk 13th. Drafty Beef 14th. Robert Miner finished 15th. Jarrett Martin 16th. Michael Weissman 17th. Christian Proctor brought home 18th. Rob Higgs Jr. finished in 19th. Kelly Akron finished in 20th. Kenny Cucko finished 21st. And Latham Joyner finished 22nd. Very exciting race. We're going to go ahead and close it out tonight. But first, before we do, we'd like to thank some of our great sponsors here at Top Tier Racing and Royalty Racing Network. First and foremost, the title sponsor of the Top Tier Gen 6 Series, Tricia's Learning Center. Tricia and her staff dedicating their life caring for children 0 to 12 years old since 1992. From daycare to pre-K to an after-school program, they do it all. Thank you all for your great work, all of you folks over there at Tricia's Learning Center, for what you do every day. And thank you for being the proud title sponsor of Top Tier Racing Gen 6 Series. Majestic promotional and branded apparel, whether you run a company, a government agency, sports team, or even a virtual race team, turn every item into a statement with Majestic promotional and branded apparel. Comment for details or message me on Discord. And finally, SM Racing Products. Take your sim experience to the next level with custom-made button boxes, dashboards, flag lights, and more with SM Racing Products. Check out SM Racing Products today and use code ROYALTY at checkout to save 20% on your order of over $150. That is a great deal. Check them out now at sm-racingproducts.com. For everyone here at Top Tier Racing, Royalty Racing Network, I'm Joshua King. I'd like to thank you for watching this broadcast of the Tricia's Learning Center Gen 6 Series. We'll be right back here tomorrow night for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Cup Series. And we'll be back for Top Tier Racing next Tuesday. Have a good evening and a good rest of the week. Good night.